Welcome back to Driven by Revs. You join me now a few days later after the BMW i8 had its first major upgrade. So join me as I take this car out to show you what I've had done and what I think of it. So you've probably gathered by the title that the upgrade to the i8 was a new exhaust modification. Now, as I set off in the car now, don't expect to hear anything because I'm actually in pure EV mode. So for those of you that don't know, the BMW i8 is a very special car. You see, the BMW is a hybrid. It's powered by a 1.5 litre petrol turbocharged engine, and that's at the rear. And at the front, there's an electric motor as well. Now, combined, both power units kick out, I think stock it's around 357 brake horsepower. Now, that's a lot of power for any kind of road car this day and age. And to be quite honest, it's as much power as many people need these days. The other thing, of course, what the BMW i8 has got going for it is its looks. It looks absolutely incredible with its sweeping curves, its low kind of arched front. So it's got all the power you need, and it's certainly got the looks. But the one thing the BMW i8 has been missing is the soundtrack to go with a car that looks this great. So this is what we've been doing this week. The i8 has had its first major upgrade, a catback exhaust, supplied by Quicksilver, a UK company, and it's all designed to see if we can get this car sounding as good as it looks. Now, it's been an absolute nightmare trying to capture the sound on this car just because of wind noise and other things. So I'm very likely to cut to a clip I did earlier. The great thing about a car like this is that dual motor. So for when cruising through neighborhoods just like this one, you can just be in pure EV. And it's absolutely silent as a mouse. You're not going to wake up any neighbors in this car. But when you want to kind of get going and maybe hit some country roads, then that's exactly what you can do in a BMW i8. So actually, yeah, I'm in pure EV mode at the moment. I'm gonna switch it into drive, or I'm gonna turn off eDrive, which will now put it into comfort. So comfort mode is when you basically let the car decide what it wants to do. But when you really want to get it going, you can. And you can really feel the power in this car. Now, don't get me wrong, it might not have supercar power, but that 357 horses doesn't stop you having any fun at all. And I'm probably going to get shot for saying this. I do like an electric car. I really do think they have their place. Charge it at home, keep it for the morning commute and around town, get that overnight EV tariff, and you'll be absolutely laughing. Let's face it, you're never gonna get the same excitement from an EV, are you, when driving on roads, ooh, these are a bit bumpy, but roads similar to this on the weekend. Prior to the exhaust upgrade, even when you'd flick this car over into its petrol engine, and even in sport mode, it was really quiet. Now, I'm not sure if you'll be able to pick it up on the camera that I've got clipped to me here in the car, but the noise that you might be hearing is actually completely fake. So within the car, BMW pump in this fake sporty-ness. And from a driver's point of view, it sounds pretty good. It's pretty good. But weirdly, on the outside, as you drive past people and you think, wow, this car not only looks cool, but it must be making a really good sound. It's really not. It's not doing anything. Which is fine. I actually quite like the sound. But for those of you that want a little bit more from your driving experience, then you'll probably want to look at changing the exhaust like I've done. So, what does that actually mean? So the Quicksilver Titan exhaust with Sound Architect gives the car more flow, so unrestricted flow. It's also a bit lighter as well, but more importantly, it gives the car its sound back. And from where I'm sitting, it sounds amazing. It really sounds amazing. When I first picked up the car after having its exhaust upgrades, and I started it up, and obviously it starts up in comfort mode, so EV mode to begin with, I was just like, oh, okay, I'll put it into petrol, and yeah, there was some difference I could tell just from setting off, but it wasn't until I got the car up more into its rev range did this thing really come to life. And the sound the Quicksilver exhaust gives back to you, considering the engine's a 1.5 litre petrol engine derived from a Mini, you'd think that the sound that any sort of exhaust modification would give this car would be a bit rough sounding, a bit artificial, but that's not the case at all. I'm not sure how the guys at Quicksilver have done it, but it just sounds great. So the sound that it gives you isn't crazy, isn't raucous, isn't boy racer like what a lot of exhausts can do to a car. Instead, it's this, in the lower rev range, there's just this subtle, sporty, natural note. There is some burbling as the car climbs through that rev range, and it just sounds fantastic. Oh, wow. Wow. And like I said, the great thing about this car in particular is that now, when you really want to get going in the car and you want that sporty B-road weekend driving experience, you can now have that. And then when you're back in town or a built-up area, you can just stick it back into comfort mode or pure EV mode and glide in silence. In fact, what I found was, after going out for a really good drive in this car to test out the sound of the exhaust, I found that when I flicked it back into EV mode, it was like I had lost my hearing. Crazy. I can't, this car just instantly puts a smile on my face. I mean, I had a smile on my face whilst driving the car beforehand, but now I'm literally smiling from ear to ear. Despite not having this car for very long, the upgrade this week has completely transformed it. Completely. It is now like driving a different car. And there it is. I had worried that by upgrading the exhaust on this car would spoil it. I guess with any upgrade, there's always that risk. I thought that potentially by upgrading the exhaust on the BMW i8, it just either wouldn't sound very good, or the sound wouldn't match the look and feel of this car. It'd be a bit mismatched. But the guys at Quicksilver have really knocked it out of the park with this one. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I'd be really interested to hear from other BMW i8 owners. I'd be really interested to hear what your thoughts are on the sound of this car now. All I know is that I'm impressed.